I'm gonna miss you so much. I'm gonna miss you so much. Hello everyone, my name is Hope and I'm coming to you live from my very messy apartment in New Orleans to tell you a tale of excitement, disappointment, and resilience. One, because I want to document my whole experience and my feelings throughout, and two, some other people who are wanting to study abroad in Japan might find it useful. TLDR, the pandemic messed up everything. So everyone always asks me, why do I want to study abroad in Japan? In order to properly tell this story, we have to go all the way back to 2019, before Corona, before everything. As soon as I got into undergrad, I knew I wanted to study abroad. However, I didn't want to go to Europe as a lot of other people do. My sister went to study abroad in Florence, and I actually got the chance to visit her, and I love Florence. It's probably one of my most favorite cities in the world. However, I am the younger sister, and I didn't want to be accused of stealing her thunder.
Am I saying you copied me by getting married in Italy? You stole my wedding country and my wedding performer.
So when I was looking at partner universities for study abroad that my college had, I saw Tokyo, Japan on there. Needless to say, my heart was set, and when I set my heart on something, I stick to it, perhaps to my detriment. But that's for later in the story, or is it? Because in order to go to Japan, I needed to at least attempt to learn Japanese. Now, I know myself. And I'm not the best at learning languages, but I do try my damnedest. Absolutely no shade to my sensei. She was a great professor, and she even gave me these cute Pikachu socks, which I love. However, let's just say those grades for that semester did not boost my GPA. But I didn't fail, and I learned a lot. And not only did I learn about the language, obviously, but also about the culture. I learned about the reverence for tradition that Japan has, while also fostering new technological innovations. And the more I learned about Japan, the more I fell in love. So I sent in my application and I was accepted! Hooray! However, there was one small problem.
Breaking tonight, fear and frustration as the coronavirus spreads across the U.S.
The World Health Organization is holding an emergency meeting right now.
U.S. cases surging to over 60,000. The new hotspots cropping up.
Like many of us, the pandemic threw a wrench in my plans, and Japan was closed to practically everyone. But like I said, when I set my heart on something, I stick to it. So as it rolled into 2021, I still was planning to study abroad. So while all my friends went back to campus and slowly started to go back to a normal college experience, I stayed at home in another state. A little context for this part of my life, the Japanese semester system is different than what we use here in the US. Instead of their first semester being August to December, it is actually March to July. And their second semester is September to March. So I was going during the March to July period. So while all of my friends were already starting classes, I was kind of in limbo. I had been accepted to the study abroad program and the Japanese university. I had taken a year of Japanese. My Japanese university was very keen to have study abroad students. I even knew the exact dorm I was supposed to be staying in, but the Japanese government was not giving out student visas. Ignore him. I had given up a semester at my home university, studying something that I loved in order to study abroad. And it felt like my plans were falling out of my hands. I thought I was getting the experience of a lifetime. But I was left with a dead semester with no classes and no job lined up, and my boyfriend broke up with me. And you know what my Japanese university said? You can take online classes. Yeah, I said no thanks. Now, I am being a little dramatic. I don't want anyone to think that I was the one who was most affected by the pandemic or anything, but of course it was disappointing. And I wasn't even sure if I was going to be able to go to Japan in the near future at all. Life went on, but I still held on to the idea of studying abroad in Japan. So when I was applying to law school, I sat my little tushy down in the admissions office and I wanted to make sure that they at least were comfortable with the idea of me studying abroad in Japan. And luckily enough, the law school that I was going to also had a partner university in Tokyo. So I started the application process all over again. Tangent. Both Japanese universities had me do a health certificate. I don't know if all Japanese universities require this, but I had to get like a chest x-ray and it was a lot. I guess it's to make sure that I don't like die while I'm in Japan. But during this process, I honestly found myself not having a lot of faith in it. I had been burned before, but it got to the point where I was like, maybe this is actually happening. And before I knew it, I got my acceptance letter! So that's where I am now. I am in limbo once again until I leave in March. I've been spending my days furiously trying to relearn Japanese. I've been taking notes while watching Abroad in Japan like I'm getting a PhD in affable English studies. And I'm still trying to figure out what medications I can bring and what medications I can't. Another tangent. Last time I was supposed to go to Japan, I almost brought enough Prozac in order to land me in jail. So maybe it was God trying to save me. I have a million things to do. I have to pack up my whole life, put it in storage. I need to apply for my visa. And of course also go to parades because it's carnival season here in New Orleans. I am so excited and grateful that I get to go. I feel so lucky being able to have this amazing opportunity once again. And if you want, you can come on this journey with me. I'm going to be vlogging my journey, the ups and downs and all arounds. I would be very appreciative if you would come along with me. And so stay tuned for a more interesting video than this. But yeah, thank you for watching.